that's where I was, and I listened to the Monk debate.
Well, the Monk debates are the ones where the guy called him a mean, mad white man. I was like, this is so silly.
But I found him to be, and this just, he just seemed like he seemed completely pure in whatever, he believed, I think, that in helping people, like, because I talked to him about, like, did he start to feel, like, famous, like, because people are really gravitating towards him. And he just felt, it genuinely seemed that he felt just good for people. He was happy to be helping others, and that, like, it didn't seem like he had any ego in it.
He definitely does like to help people, but he also feels a responsibility because of his knowledge to explain what he thinks is a problem with certain types of behavior, certain laws. And one of them that got him in trouble or got him controversial, got a lot of controversy attached to it, was the compelled speech laws for transgender people, the use of compelled pronouns. Meaning
in Canada.
Yeah, so if you decided that you weren't going to be a he or a she, you could make up a number of different names, and they would be legally compelled to use those names. And some people were arguing that's not what it says, and then he was saying, no, it's a human rights violation if you don't follow along with that. Like, this is compelled speech, and this is dangerous because this is what it leads to. And then there's all these people debating with him. But then what you got a chance to see is with him debating these points with these various intellectuals, including like gender studies teachers and shit, you got to see like, oh, this is a crazy idea. Like these people that think that you should have like 78 different gender pronouns, and that it's tantamount to violence to not use someone's preferred pronoun. You're like, oh, you're crazy.
Right.
Oh, this is a mad person who wants the world to be different. So you want all these new laws attached to whether or not someone calls someone he or she.
Yeah. And
they're getting some traction with it. Where it's weird. In New York City, I think it's landlords. And it might be employers, but I'm pretty sure it's landlords. They are compelled to use your preferred pronoun. So if your landlord decides to call you a different thing, like if you say I'm a she now, and he's like, fuck you, Theo. I knew you when you were Theo. You're Theo. See what that law is. Compelled gender pronouns law, New York City. But people are like, wait a minute. How many do I have to know?
Right.
Which ones do I have to agree with? Like, you start, because there's a ton of them now. There literally is 78 different gender pronouns.
You know what I'm finding? Like, I know they would, for a while it was like people in certain areas, they don't want to build transgender bathrooms. It's like, because there's 9 people in this town. Yeah. And we've seen everybody's dick. Like, we don't have any, you can't change all these zoning laws for when there's not even someone present in some of these areas. I think in some bad ways, they're making people not be accepting of transgender people that they may meet at some point,
right,
by creating all of this rhetoric or whatever it is, this conversation. It's like some people are already fed up and they've never even met someone like this. And so then they're going to have already like contentious views when they do meet someone just because they've heard so much background noise that it's problematic, when it's not.
That's certainly possible. It's also possible that people will be scared of the backlash, so they won't use transphobic language anymore. The problem with that is you're not encouraging empathy, you're encouraging fear. You're encouraging fear of not following the standard line of behavior and speech.
Yeah.
And that's where people have a problem with it. It's like the real way to do it is to promote empathy, to say, like, look, these people, like this guy's born in the wrong body.
Yeah.
He became a woman. He went through the surgery. Let him use the woman's room.
Yeah.
Like, why not? And if they're a bad person, judge that bad person on each individual basis. Now, when you're talking about children, that's what people are scared of. That, you're going to have some creep who pretends he's a woman so he can get in the girl's room and he's going to molest children. Like, those are the worst case scenarios. Yeah, those are terrible worst case scenarios. But how often is that going to happen? How do we protect that? How do we prevent that from happening? Those are the questions. But for the vast majority of the people that become trans, do you really think that they're going to molest people? I don't think they are. You can't judge the vast majority based on a few. That's just like the same logic that says people shoot up people with guns, so we should take everyone's guns away. That's crazy too. No, the vast majority of people with guns don't shoot people. The vast majority of people who are trans, they don't want to hurt anybody. They're not. All they're trying to do is just get along and be who they are. This is a complex subject.
I
but
love
I
the
think the
empathy
danger
point.
is when people are scared, that they're scared or bullied into agreeing with one side or the other side. Because then shit gets weird, because then it becomes a battle. It becomes a battle instead of an opportunity, a discussion, an opportunity to enforce and encourage compassion. Like that, it can be done both ways.
Yeah.
I think but to look at these people like, look, they just why do you care if someone wants to be a girl? Why do you care if she wants to be a guy? Why do you care?
Yeah.
Like, let them do it. Let them be free. Let them be themselves. Just like let a dude tattoo his face. Do whatever you want, man. As long as you're not fucking people over and you're not hurting people, you're not out there robbing people and stealing from people and murdering people. As long as that's not happening, do whatever you want. That should be our approach to this stuff.
That should be that should be somewhere on the Bill of Rights or something, or a new amendment.
There should be something in there where we think about why we have a problem and how we address the problem. As soon as you address the problem with force forward is force in return. You're going to get force back. People are going to want to get ramped up just as much to attack you as you attack them, and then you're going back and forth left and right, and it becomes fucking chaos.